Well, guys, it's now time for Week 6 of the 2021 DCFL season. So as we take a look at the stands after Week 5, in the Eastern Conference, Indianapolis still leads in a blowout by 2 games over everyone else. And then in the Western Conference, Oakland has a tiebreaker over Tacoma, with Kansas City having a tiebreaker over Chicago for the last wildcard spot. And then here's the schedule for Week 6, as it starts off with Seattle at Baltimore, then Indianapolis at Kansas City, followed by big ones, Jacksonville's at Oakland, then New York at Chicago, San Diego at Boston, and finally Philadelphia at Tacoma. So now let's get to Week 6. And here is the results for Week 6. Start off with Seattle at Baltimore, as the game went back and forth, and Baltimore had to tie it up to send the game into overtime, but in the end, Seattle won it 30-27 to end the 4-game losing streak, as my charm have fallen now to 3-3. Then Indianapolis visited Kansas City in a game where Indianapolis was dominant at first, but Kansas City still held in there. And at one point, Indianapolis was up 34-17 before Kansas City started to make a huge comeback, and before you know it, it was 37-31, and Kansas City was marching downfield. However, with just 5 seconds left, they took a pass, completed for big gain, but fell 13 yards short of going in for the touchdown to get the win, as Indianapolis barely won it, 37-31 as they're 6-0 as Kansas City falls to 2-4. Meanwhile, Jacksonville crushed Oakland 30-7 as they're 4-2 as Oakland falls to 3-3. Meanwhile, the other games, Chicago held on to beat New York 17-16 in defensive struggles. Hey, now Chicago's won 3 in a row now. Now they're back in the playoff mix. And then also, San Diego visited Boston, where Boston was down 13-7 until the final few minutes of the game, where they got a touchdown to win the game 14-13. And meanwhile, Tacoma, their offense didn't click as much as before, but they still did enough to get the win 23-16 over Philadelphia. Alright, so now here is the stands after Week 6, as Indianapolis still leads the Eastern Conference with a 2-game lead over second place Jacksonville, and New York is now the 3rd seed. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, the new team, Tacoma Slashers, are still leading the conference now, as the Oakland Pilgers are 2nd. And how about that? The Chicago Staleys, after losing 3 in a row to start the year, they've now won 3 in a row, and now they're in the playoffs to go into the Week 7. Alright, and then here is the schedule for Week 7, as there's a whole bunch of big ones. Baltimore at Jacksonville, that is going to be huge. Indianapolis at New York, a championship rematch from 2 years ago, that's going to be huge. Followed by Philadelphia at Boston. And then there'll be a big one as Oakland visits Kansas City. Then Tacoma visits Chicago. Chicago has a chance to clinch the lead of the division possibly right here. That's insane. And finally wrap it up with San Diego at Seattle. Alright, so Week 6 is now in the book, so tune in next time for Week 7. See you guys then.